926 days, I believe, 926 days since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. And wow, out of the loop just a little bit today. But that's what it takes to get some new information. Um, I'm going to turn on my, let's see if I can do it up here so you don't have to see the bottom of my head. But yeah, I heard very interesting information that once again confirms that what I'm saying is not a lie. What I'm saying is something very serious and has been confirmed again today. So, okay, there I am. So I decided that I would name this again Balloons and Rearing Puppies. And I know that sounds so vulgar if you have the right meaning. And I'm really sorry about that. But I don't want to beat around the bush. I want to tell you what is happening. And I'm going to tell you that over and over and over again because Richard did not just disappear from the barracks, from his barracks room on July 23rd, 2020, and the unit and the chain of command just overlooked him and did not contact family, did not contact his loved ones, did not do any fuss in the middle of finding Gregory Morales, in the middle of the whole Vanessa Guillen fiasco, in the middle of Austin Hawk, 39 wounds just to his head, and they pleaded the 44 four-star generals. You know what they did in that case? They had the murderer, he was just sentenced this week, Byron Booker, and Jordan Brown. Jordan Brown was the CQ. Byron Booker planned for 2 months after he was thrown out of the military, was Austin Hawk's sergeant. He was thrown out of the military. Planned for 2 months to silence Austin Hawk because he was a whistleblower. They need to use the word whistleblower. They need to call Austin Hawk in the newspaper a whistleblower. They need to call him the Distinguished Honor Graduate for his cycle in basic training and advanced individual training, just like Richard. He was the Distinguished Honor Graduate for basic training for his cycle and also advanced individual training. He was a whistleblower. They need to tell the truth. Okay? There's none of this could happen. In the middle of all of that, Enrique's head. Let's not forget about Enrique's head. Washing ashore, it had been chopped off with a hatchet, his hair pulled out, his eyes gouged out. And let's not forget, in the middle of all of this was the suffering of the family of Caleb Smither, who got hit in the head, was going to his formation with night vision goggles on. He was sent to his room. Nobody checked on him. His room started to stink so bad, they found him in the 5th stage of decomposition. Go look that up. Go look that gooey mess up. 5th stage of decomposition. In the middle of all of this, Richard goes missing, a whistleblower. They knew he was a whistleblower. The IG were all over the barracks because of Halliday. Okay? We got that. And yet, when he went missing, nobody, not even the first sergeants, because there's two of them, not even the first sergeants that say that they care about their soldiers, about their men, about their women. Um, in this day and age with social media, with phone calls, it was so easy to find. One of them retired. One's First Sergeant Jay Paulin. Um, up to no good, y'all. Up to no good. But confession is the cure of souls, let me tell you. Didn't even contact family. Had no problem finding Rob's number. Super easy to find Rob's number. Super easy to find how to contact us and say, hey, I'm retired now, but I was Richard's first sergeant, and I'm here in El Paso, and your son's missing. You know, if there's anything I can do, let me know, right? I mean, that's what a first sergeant would do. His first sergeant failed to contact family. His wife, Hema Sochil, had no problem being anonymous and harassing the family of a missing soldier after we found out. You think that she would have gotten leaks from her husband and said, hey, I better write them a real quick note. In this day and age, no, there is no excuse why they didn't contact us. And then Command Sergeant Major Jake Jakovitz, he was shaking all the time. He was shaking all the time. The poor man. You know that he has been mentally, psychologically through the ringer. Through the ringer. I can't even imagine, with all I know, Richard was just one of the cases. But Richard's case is an international case, and he knew that. And he said, I didn't even know I had a missing soldier on my rolls. Can you believe a sergeant saying such a thing? After Richard was a whistleblower over and above and outside of the chain of command to the Child Protective Services for child sex trafficking. That's what we're told. That's what we're told. And we've had a FOIA in, and we haven't gotten our FOIA answered. Very easily. If we just had the date of the FOIA, that would answer a lot of questions. Because he gave evidence. I believe he gave evidence. He had porn videos. Because the Army likes producing porn, selling porn, and broadcasting porn. On our installation, on our installations, on our ships, to our service members. They like to produce it, sell it, and broadcast it. I heard something disturbing today from the ships. Remember I played, and I'll play it again. I should play it again. I can do that real quick. I can play it again. I think it's really important. Here we go. Oh, let me turn this up all the way.
In interesting point here. Years back, you could only get as much smut on board that you could store and fit in your sea bag. Then someone realized, like, oh man, I could put this on a DVD and be able to have even more net. And then you could fit the whole world of pornography on a terabyte hard drive now. But what's made it even worse is sailors will set up these clandestine Wi-Fi networks, and so now you have what they affectionately call training videos or old tax documents being just blasted around the ship on these Wi-Fi networks, so anyone with a cell phone can get a hold of them. Ships are really dirty places for your soul, and please don't send your children or your loved ones out on them anymore.
Thank you very much. Brave, brave, brave person. So, yeah. And this is going on our installations, because we have things like this after this balloon thing. Let me see if I can do this. This is what I'm seeing. Let's see if I can find it. There's so much with this balloon mess. You should see the memes out right now. Oh, did I pass it up? Let's see. Here it is. Here it is. This is this is what's going around. This relegating the United States flag to the end. Yeah. This is what they're most, is this so good? Is this just, this is what I'm saying. Is this so good that it's worth it to ruin our entire economy, ruin children's lives, ruin family lives, ruin our country, ruin our relationship with other countries? Is this so good? Is this so wonderful? Yeah, I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. Not in, those are our uniforms, okay? Those are our uniforms, and yeah, this is coming out too. Um, yeah, that's just one of who knows how many thousands of memes that are being brought to my attention. Um, so this is the problem. I'm going to talk about this balloon. Matter of fact, I probably should leave it on there. Um, but today I heard even a very sad story, and I just have to relay it because people need to know this, and I hope you share it, because this is another indication of the failure of our 44 four-star generals and admirals, that they have been hijacked, that the demons that are wearing those uniforms. Why do we have 44 four-star billets anyway? That it's unnecessary, because they're not, if our military was something to be proud of, and there was a long line out of every recruiting office because of the stellar performance of our military, and we didn't have rearing puppy dogs in uniform, people that are just totally confused. And I know I might get a hit on that one, but it's a psyop. It's a psyop, y'all. They've been performing psychological tactics, asymmetric warfare tactics on us. The Pentagon spends so much money on psychological uh, maneuvering of the peoples, all the peoples. That's their biggest weapon. And they want to make you weak. They want to make you confused. They want to make us confused and weak. You see? So, I mean it for good. I mean it for good. To have a stellar military, there has to be a moral foundation. And that moral foundation comes from God and God alone. And every word that proceeds from the mouth of God is law. There is no confusion. There is no doubt. And where the Spirit of God is, where the Spirit of Jesus is, there is freedom. Because every bit of that word, you see, the word became flesh. That moral compass became flesh. And that makes us free. Not captured in confusion. Captured in grooming. And today, this is the capture of women. And I know what a woman is, okay? God's definition of woman. Made from Adam's rib. You can laugh at that as much as you want, but it's all coming out, y'all. It's all coming out. And the truth is there. And this is an attack on women by our Pentagon. They are confusing them. And they'll put one woman on a ship with 400 men and allow her to be, well, let's just say, take body count. And every sailor out there knows what I'm talking about. Every Marine out there knows what I'm talking about. Takes body count. If you don't know, go look it up. Setting her up just like the Roman circuses would set up Theodora and her sisters. Just like the young mother being set up. Being set up, not being able to fulfill potentiality, really good potentiality. So things just keep getting worse. They just keep getting worse. I'm being told worse. Not, oh, Pat, you're over-exaggerating. No. They're saying, you don't know half of it. That's what they're saying. So Richard didn't just go missing after making the Child Protective Service complaints. He didn't just go missing after turning in the porn videos that the military likes to make. They like to produce it. They like to broadcast it. And that means they are supporting child sex trafficking. 100%. Because it is such at an extreme that there's no doubt in my mind with the charges that have been made in the last years, what's been happening with children, that they are engaged in child sex trafficking. We know that the Marines were human trafficking there from Camp Pendleton to Tijuana. That was admitted to. And there's human trafficking all along the Texas border. And I probably have missed some news coverage on who was getting arrested for human trafficking. And we absolutely know that child porn is involved in this case. We know that now. Child porn is involved in this case. So, who's sticking up for this? Who's covering up for this? Who's selling their soul for this to keep this covered? Because we know that Command Sergeant Major Jake Jakovitz came after Command Sergeant Major Jones. And we know they served under Major General Clem Coward. And Clem Coward, he smoked Richard. Okay, he smoked him for no reason. No reason. All psyop. All little hangnails for no reason. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But if he knew about the child sex trafficking, if he knew about the participation, the production, and the broadcasting of pornography on Fort Bliss, if he knew that the barracks were flush with weapons, if he knew that they were marketplaces for illegal drugs, if he knew that, and yeah, he did know, because they were allowed to have frat parties every day and the alcohol flowing with guns, y'all. And then they didn't stop there. They set up women. They brought in, Command Sergeant Major Jakovitz told me to my face, they brought in girls during the COVID lockdown. They brought in girls during the COVID lockdown. Yeah. Who? They. Major General Clem Coward. And this all can only be done by the loving support, really the hating support of the 44 four-star generals and admirals. And, you know, these are demons that are wearing our beautiful uniforms with the 4 stars. And you saw the performance in the last few days was, well, let's talk about the balloon. Let's talk about this balloon. Okay, so I'm hearing a lot of different things about this balloon. I think this picture here is very interesting because it shows this missile hitting the balloon at the base to disconnect the satellite. Okay? And it shows the path, which was right overhead where I'm at, the path of this balloon. And of course, there's reports of lots of balloons, and one balloon right now down in South America. And there are lots of balloons, y'all. Those are satellites. Okay? Those are satellites. Because they've never reached anything beyond lower Earth orbit. That's what NASA has said. You got to do some homework. It is shocking. The amount of lies that are business plans. And this is dangerous for me to say because NASA, I think it's, $54 to $59 million a day. You heard me right, a day. And that's only from the taxpayers. That's not from all the income from putting it out there, putting it out there and marketing it, advertising it, making it's so exciting. It's so exciting. And the lies are enormous. The moon is not a rock. And I just found that out. Probably it hasn't even been a year. So here I'm finding out in these 900 days since Richard, 926 days since Richard vanished from his barracks. But in these days, I'm learning not just that my son is missing from the barracks and that they have that unit so tongue-tied, so tied because of, can you imagine all the porn? Can you imagine bringing the girl in and doing the body count? Let's do the body count. Let's film it. Let's film it. Let's produce it. Let's sell it. And let's sell it on these porn sites. And then we'll broadcast it. We'll broadcast it through a Wi-Fi, right? So it's this is serious business. So not only am I learning about the colonel, and if it's we have a general, okay? We have top leaders that think their porn cult is more important than this nation. That their porn cult is more important than defending the Constitution, the land, and the people. That's what we pay them for. Well, if they feel that way, then they need to get a different job, and we need to stop paying them. Go do something else in the civilian world, right? Go do something else in the civilian world, and we do not need to pay you for your grooming of puppies and rearing puppies and becoming the dog and being reared and wearing a mask and all of the things that this puppy dog cult and other cults, other sex cults, okay, magic sex cults, this nonsense that is so evil that we are paying for. We are paying for it. Let's see if I can bring this up. Let's see. Yeah. So this picture right here is just one of many, okay? This is a public picture. This is our gymnasium on our installation, and those are our uniforms. Did you know that Marines that decided that they would not get the Cobra Strike were being kicked out, right? They were being kicked out, and they were told that they had to turn in their dress blues. They were not allowed to leave with their dress blues. They were not allowed, even though they paid for them, to leave with their dress blues. This is makes my point really, really well. This colonel who is showing his erection here, we have to cover it up, in a public demonstration, in a production. I wonder if he sold this. and then he broadcasted it. And it was in our uniform, on our installation, in our gymnasium, on our dime. And it's more important to him than our nation, because this is a national security disgrace and a national security threat. This is breaking esprit de corps, breaking all the other soldiers, just like the plea deal that the 44 four-star generals did, that they did not fight. They did not fight to stop that plea deal with Byron Booker and Jordan Brown in the absolute slaughter, murder in the barracks room, planned for 2 months, one of them being CQ. They did a plea deal because they did not want this to go out into the media. It's more important to them. That was a kick in the gut, in the teeth of every service member and their family members. Every one of them. Because those 44 four-star generals, they don't care. They did not have our service members back. They did not have their six. They did not have esprit de corps. They don't care about it. They don't care about it. And so, back to this balloon. Getting a little warm in here. Back to this balloon. Why did they break it right here? They know about these satellites, these balloon satellites. They know about them. They deal with them all the time. Just go look it up. Why couldn't they train to capture this instrument? When it falls, it's not a good thing. Did they want it to go into the water and fall and say, oh, we couldn't capture it. Oh, it's been damaged. Oh, we don't know what's on it. Is that why they let it fly all across the United States? What is going on with this? This was such a setup. Because the 44 four-star generals and admirals that we have right now, plus General Garrett, absolutely General Garrett, name some other ones. People know some other ones that have retired. They are absolutely criminals. They have committed treason. They have committed crimes against humanity. And I cannot say this enough until it gets out. I get a few people here, a few people there, a few people here. But you know what? The more you share it, the more you understand what's happening. Because this is a threat. This is the porn. That whole porn thing is worse than any nuclear bomb. Okay? It's that destructive. Porn is a major weapon of psychological warfare. Major weapon. And if you support porn, you support child sex trafficking. If you support child sex trafficking, then you really don't support children. And they like that. They like that. They don't like Roe versus Wade. And they have convinced you to think it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It is the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I don't know if that's good intentions. They make you think it's good intentions. Right? That the easy life or whatever is so wonderful. So, yeah, that porn is, it's really bad. So these this whole balloon thing shows you that they do not have the best intentions to protect this country, the land and the people. The land and the people. They don't. And all this parading around, waiting for Biden to give the word or whatever. Y'all, if you believe that, the power is at the Pentagon. The Pentagon is the one that long did op-eds. It's all been in the newspaper. It's all out there that they have been planning for all of this, even as early, and I think earlier than 2013. And the Pentagon is paying for it. So our dime is being funneled through the Pentagon to pay for our destruction, our psychological bombs to hit us, right? To hit our volunteer sons and daughters that join. That's what's going on. It's very clear. I'm 100%. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. Because we just got word that child porn is involved in Richard's case. And so that means all of this leadership is supporting child sex trafficking, child porn, the rapes of women coming in, saying you need to do body count or get raped. Do body count or get raped. And in those body counts, they're making videos and they're selling them on sexual platforms, and then they're broadcasting them. And Richard was a whistleblower. And they didn't have a six. The Major General, Clem Coward, smoked him for being a whistleblower. So what is his participation in this porn industry that is laced with drugs and weapons and alcohol? What is his? Is it so good that it is more important than our national defense? Is it so important that a whistleblower that says, well, maybe we should be doing our duty in defending our Constitution? And no, you want to smoke him? So we'd like to know what is his participation in all of this. Because what happens to a first lieutenant that is caught with child porn? I'd like to know. I'd like to know what Major General Clem Coward did. I think that's... Yeah. It is... It's interesting because I haven't mentioned the horse racing and horse training part of all of this, and how everyone is connected, and how very easily children can be transported, humans can be transported in horse trailers. And El Paso is right over the border. Big time clandestine horse racing. Lots of horse training, everything. And then, of course, the connection with the Mormon Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Big part of this. Very big part of this. And it makes them look bad. because when I first found out, I came on my live stream and I said, maybe there's a little light there. Maybe because they're so powerful. They have so much money. They have so many stakes. That's what they call all their property and all their investments. They call them stakes. They have their temples are on the Mexico side, and Novo Casa Grande, Colonial Juarez, Colonial Dublin. I hope I'm saying these all right. Absolutely plush, plush. Um, they have their farms. They grow all kinds of stuff. Um, they have their orchards. They have their ranches. They have their horse training. They have Little Chinatown. They have their high school that is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, the best materials. Absolutely, you can go watch it. So don't tell me that American families all over will send their children to go to school there if it's so dangerous. You know, I'm hearing it's dangerous. Well, who is it dangerous for? Yeah, because it's absolutely plush, and there's a lot of coming back and forth because those stakes come all the way up from Colonial Juarez, all the way up, all the way through the United States. And of course, Sunland Park. Of course, Santa Teresa Port of Entry is very important. And of course, they have people and friends that work in all of that area. And they go back and forth to the temple. They know people and they know about the horses. Y'all. Is the FBI hiding the remains of our son Richard that they found in Juarez? Was he in uniform? We're told he was in uniform. We have the name of the suspect of who hurt Richard. We have another story of who was paid to get rid of his remains. That he was indeed in uniform. They did use Santa Teresa Port of Entry. We know this. And they tried to smear Richard. Can you believe that? That's how they don't. Look at how they smeared Austin Hawke even long after he died. After he was murdered. After he was slaughtered. They did not have his six. They did not have Richard six. They put Enrique in cold case right away. They didn't have his six either. They didn't have Asha six. She was raped in the barracks because the barracks are co-ed. People don't know that. But the barracks are co-ed and the ratio is like 9-1. 9 men to 1 woman. And so they take body count. She was told to shut up. She was told to shut up. Yeah. How many rapists are walking around in our beautiful uniform? How many drug dealers are walking around in our beautiful uniform? How many porn participants? Well, a lot of them. How many? Is it worth it, y'all? Is it worth it? Confession is the cure of souls. There's a book called Confession is a Cure of Souls. You should look that up. I think it's being sold on Amazon. It's amazing. It's an amazing book. Because I really point my finger to the 44 four-star generals. If we can't have a amazing military with 44 four-star billets, we're in deep trouble. I wonder how many four-star billets other countries have. I really wonder, because we give them everything. Everything. They have staffs. I don't have a staff. I have a missing soldier. And I have to go through harassment that I go on TikTok. And I'm like, well, that's because you don't have a missing son. I have a missing son. And I really like TikTok. I think there's something, there's bad and good on all things. And I always told all of our children, you're going to see bad things. You're going to see bad things. I'm not going to censor you. You're going to see bad things, and you need to click through it. You need to govern yourself. You need to have a moral compass, right? And I'm so proud of Richard because he did. He's a yellow Interpol. If he only knew, I think he knows how proud I am of him. When he got that Distinguished Honor Graduate for basic training in AIT and $500 award, I was like, wow, Richard, I am so sorry. I was wrong. Maybe the military is where you need to be. And it went down real quick from there. And I was so sorry for him because he was so excited. He had this huge aspiration and the idea of the military. An idea of the military that doesn't exist. And he got his balloon popped. And worse, he got smoked. But he kept his moral compass. And he's a saint. He's a hero. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing, and give you some more information that's coming in. It's coming in so fast. So thank you so much. God bless you. And share, and make your own, and share. God bless.